Zoning Board for June 10th, 2019. We will start with the approval of the minutes. And consider and take action for the minutes from, actually it was from, from.
Mr. Chairman, before you go into
Yes.
that, I want to introduce
Oh,
some of our new intern. So Caleb went to Sugarland.
okay.
So we have a new intern. I'll let her introduce herself.
My name is Sarah Brown. I'm interning currently with the Planning and Zoning Department. And I've had 2 internships with Harris County the last 2 summers. And my major is spatial science.
What is that?
It's GIS,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
mapping,
Okay.
data management.
Very cool. What do you want to do with that?
I have no idea. I'm still working on that.
Gotcha.
So,
What led you to that field, or what you just?
oh well, my dad is in the same field, so
I see.
kind of steered me in that direction.
Understood. Well,
Great.
glad to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Well, I apologize. I said June the 10th. I meant July the 8th for our meeting today. And then if we go ahead and look at our minutes from June 10th, I apologize. Somebody look over those. Did you get a chance to look at them?
Yeah, I did.
I read them.
Okay. Is there any changes that need to be made, or accepted?
I didn't see anything.
What about a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Wonderful. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. All right, we'll move on to agenda item 3 is to discuss the outcome of City Council meeting on June 18th of 2019.
Okay, the specific use permit to construct a park/sporting field complex for the Boys and Girls Club that y'all looked at. Planning and zoning voted in favor 4-0. City Council approved it 3-0. And then the historic, request for the historic overlay for lot 10A, City Block 62, located at 909 Carricker. Here in Nacogdoches, Planning and Zoning voted in favor 4-0, and City Council approved it 3-0.
Awesome. It's good to know that information after the fact, too. I
Yeah.
appreciate always kind of knowing what happened after we've worked on it, so it's good to know. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item 4 as a public hearing to consider a request for specific use permit, SUP, to allow a light manufacturing company in a B2 general business zoning district for lot 17-5, City Block 95, parcel ID 26728, generally located on Northwest Stallings Drive.
All right. Thank you and good evening to everybody. So this is an SUP to consider a light manufacturing company along the loop, as you can see on the map. So currently it's a vacant property. We have some vacant properties to the north of it, and to the south we have some commercial and industrial uses along the loop. The property is 3.3 acres and is currently zoned as B2. The proposed use is from a company by name Solaro Energy, and to the best of my knowledge, their headquarters is in New Mexico, and they did consider Nacogdoches as another place to open up this company here. I think their major product has to do with lighting product and ventilation system. In our first discussion with the owner, I believe he's also the applicant, most of their products, even though it looks like dealing with lighting product and ventilation product, it has nothing to do with chemical emission. So they believe it's safe for the environment. He specifically said in his written document that no toxic materials will be handled on site. They intend to grow a total of about 100,000 square feet under roof after a full build out. So it looks like a very big company coming into town. Current property is vacant. As I said earlier, we have some pockets of vacant lands around it, but majority of users along the loop is quite mixed, most of them being industrial users. The current zoning for the property, as you can see on here, is B2. But I think with time, most development in that zone has been more of light manufacturing or industrial. I believe most of these existed even before the zoning ordinance. So I would say most of the industrial uses on site currently do not conform to the zoning. But the city ordinance allows for light manufacturing in the B2, and the reason being that is that light manufacturing company has less adverse impact, and so we do allow that in the B2 zoning, and it is it's up to the P&Z and City Council to make conditions or pass it without any conditions, taking into consideration safety and health of citizens within the city limits. Per the future land use map, it's for commercial uses. Like I said, most developments along there are not just commercial. We have some pockets of industrial uses, and so these developments, if approved, will not be the only industrial uses in that zone. We have other industrial uses like the Coca-Cola company and some heavy truck companies within that zone. So this rezoning, like I said, wouldn't change the zoning, and will maintain the existing the future land use on site. We have some factors that we do consider for an SUP, and one of them being compatibility. If you drive on site, you realize that there are other industrial areas within close proximity to the site, such as the East Texas Trucking Center and the Nacogdoches Coca-Cola bottle. And so staff believes that this light manufacturing use will not be the first in that along that loop. And also considering the location of the site, we believe the applicant wants to take advantage of the loop for, hauling of products to and fro the city. So we believe it's a good location. In terms of orderly growth and development, this development will conform to all subdivision regulation. There will be no exception for any subdivision regulation with regards to parking, landscaping, and all of those things that make a development unique for the city. In terms of supporting facilities, we have adequate utilities along the loop, and we do not foresee any issues with connecting water or sewer to that property. Drives and parking, there will be adequate landscaping on site. Driveway will be effectively put in there in consultation with TxDOT to make sure it's safe for anybody who works on site. In terms of nuisance, this is new in the city. I did talk to the applicant, and he has assured us he doesn't see any chemical reactions or any nuisance that would have any adverse impact on surrounding land uses. And if we go back to the aerial, though might not be clear, but surrounding uses around this property are actually industrial in nature, and so we don't foresee any impact from this light manufacturing affecting the surrounding land uses. We do take landscaping serious, and the applicant has informed us according to the site plan he provided, he will do more than the required landscaping to make this site look very pretty for the city. I have a picture here showing the site plan. I think it's more legible when it's printed in colored, but it's showing the proposed building, and he plans to expand as time goes on. If you look at the driveway on site, it looks like the building is far away from the street, and so we believe that is a safety measure. There will be enough parking, and I believe the proposal was to employ about 30 to 30 employees in the first phase of the development. Should it develop, I'm sure there are going to be more people employed on site. So I had some pictures just showing what they do, and I have the applicant here to give more information on that. I believe we can see some solar panels on there. So it's more of, I think one of his keywords was they produce products that ensures clean energy. Showing some other stuff along the windows. And then I have a picture here showing the side view is currently vacant. The picture at the bottom shows the side view of the site in question. So I have the pictures here showing the site to the north. As you can see, it's along the loop, a busy intersection, which will probably become the I-69 in the near future. So it's a good location for such a development. And some pictures to the west and east of the sites as well. So key points to note: the development will be the first of its kind in the city. The location is along the loop and will blend well with surrounding industrial uses. The development is a low-intensity industrial use. There is still reason for potential nuisance or impact to the area. Staff didn't put any conditions on site because we met with the applicant and he assured us was going to meet the minimum requirement for landscaping, setbacks, and all the subdivision regulations that will make this development blend well within the city of Nacogdoches and to other surrounding users. So I didn't put any conditions on site, and my major issue had to do with what impact it would have. I had people call about, is there going to be any chemical pollution in the environment and stuff like that, but the applicant did assure us that none of that will be on site. So it's more of an assurance, and because of that, staff didn't put any conditions on it, and I have no recommendation. I'm leaving it to the P&Z and City Council to make the final determination on it. I have the applicant here, and I believe she will put more light on what the development is about.
Okay.
This is my presentation to an end. Yeah.
Would you applicant like to step up? Thank you.
So I'm Michelle Ray. I'm the production manager of the Nacogdoches facility, and that was really amazing. So I feel like you know more about it than I do. But we're planning to build in 3 phases, and the first is the 20,000 square foot building. I'm hoping to employ 30 to 50 employees in that building. We do produce, what is seen there is a solar-powered attic fans, basements, whole house, crawl space. They also have a line of solar lighting that mimics skylights. So you have a solar panel outside, wire run inside. I visited the Cercaro facility for 2 weeks. It's amazingly clean. The owner, Mr. Grubb, is very meticulous. That's what I keep anyone who's helping me. I'm like, I need this shop as clean as your grandmother's kitchen. Like that's how we clean it. And even the rented building that we're using, we've already done a ton of work just trying to get it clean and up to that level of cleanliness and his expectations. So, do y'all have questions? Or?
One question I had about the nuisances, obviously, the one that I always think about in industrial is what kind of noise, sound or anything like that. I mean, obviously it doesn't sound like it's a big,
No, it's mainly, there's a lot of assembly work. It's run off CNC lasers, CNC benders. Trying to think, there's a powder coating.
So none of it's really very loud, yeah?
No.
Okay, that's just something I always think about, just having some sort of
Yes.
nuisances outside of that. Okay.
No.
So you're getting trucks in with parts that are in some level of completion,
Well,
and then you're doing probably some extra work and then assembling.
we'll get in sheets of sheet metal.
Okay.
I think right now they're ordering 5x10 sheets, but
Mhm.
that could change. And then actually they come in and we cut them, bend them, powder coat them, assemble them, and then ship them out as vans.
Okay. But
So
you're-
there's some other
yeah.
fan motors, things like that coming in, but
Yeah.
that's the
Because
biggest.
my main concern was driving up that loop, that it can get hard to merge on and off, and how much truck traffic was going to be coming
in.
into the facility and out. I think it'll be alleviated at some point in the future when there's a frontage road there,
Yes.
hopefully. But in the meantime, how many trucks per week do you expect to come in? And if you're running at full capacity with a 20,000 square foot facility, and how much do you expect
Yes.
to go out?
That is a question I can get answered. I
Okay.
don't know that. I will say a lot of the components are actually the motors. I'm just thinking the cube of a truck. The fan motor is the biggest thing we order. So most everything else is small, like finger sized.
Yeah.
So we get a shipment and it lasts for months.
Okay.
That was a concern I had, was wondering about the ingress and egress there, because you have all these driveways of different industrial, and so that was
Yes.
just, that was a concern I had as well.
Though to be fair, it's not the first. I mean, there's plenty of other businesses that have probably more traffic up and down the loop. I was just given that near Austin there is a difficult spot, it seems like, to get in and out.
In and out.
Do you have a quota of how many you have to build in, say, a month's time in order to
Not
ship
yet,
out?
honestly. Well, because where I am, I'm beginning a product line that has only been sold in a prototype environment, And so initially, my quota is 50 a week, which surely we can get that done. You know, so I think they're kind of starting me here, and then just really seeing where the sales are going to go. I think the question is how many of the other lines they'll bring over here, where they're very excited about the Nacogdoches workforce. So,
Are they offered in a local market, or is this something that they sell online?
it is sold through distributors, and there's some conversations going on. I know we sell out of, there's a distributor, I believe, in Longview and out of Houston, and so we're looking at whether to add something locally. And I feel certain he just hasn't also reached out to, roofers, air conditioning, those type of people or who else sells our product.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other questions?
How long before you plan to be up and running at that facility?
I was told about a year
Okay.
was what they thought it would take to get everything put together.
Okay.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Thank
Yep,
you.
thank you.
So, Commissioner Dupish, with your question.
Yeah.
So this is going to City Council August 6th. I can make them give that information before I present to City Council.
It's, to me, if from your perspective, if you think it's not going to significantly, as the planner, impact the amount of traffic that's already, I mean, there's a lot of just traffic just going through
Going back
town
and forth.
on the loop these days. It seems like it's getting busier. If you think that this can be done safely, then,
The reason why we didn't look much into that was that we have other developments along
yeah,
the loop, and looking at the siting of the building, it's really far away. So there's ample distance for a turn into the building. But getting information on how many trucks they are going to, I'm sure it's an information they can easily provide.
well,
So,
it's a good point. The units don't, they look like they're about that big, so you could probably fit a lot on a truck. It's just, I'm hoping you guys
Fill
run
that
out
whole lot up.
run out of warehouse space, and
Yeah.
you're trying to ship as many out as you possibly can. And if that happens, is it going to be a problem? That would be my only concern. But, that can always be something that
yeah.
would be. I'm sure if that happened, you'd probably be looking for a different space to relocate to anyway. So
And with the highway coming through town, I'm sure they have considered the fact that anything can happen along the loop.
yeah,
There have been discussion of some development losing land and even buildings being yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure they've really considered all those factors. So.
yeah. Well, I know isn't the Coca-Cola plant just north of there?
Yes, it is.
So okay, yeah. So yeah. I think personally, I think it'll probably be fine. If you've got too many of these on the loop, it might be a
Then,
problem.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
this would probably not adversely affect the traffic.
And with the driveway, as we can see on the site plan, TxDOT has a minimum distance
Footages,
requirement. So
Yeah,
if
they'll handle that.
they will handle
Yeah.
that. If they feel it's going to create any issue, they'll probably let them change the location of the driveway. So
Yeah.
I've run across that quite a bit, and they
Yeah.
have certain distances and footages, and so they're pretty particular, so. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion for or against?
Move that we accept the request.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Perfect, wonderful. And I think that concludes our meeting for today. Thank you very much.